So let's get more now on our top story and the Tories' splits over the Rwanda legislation. I'm joined now by David Davis, who's the Conservative MP for Hampton Price and Howden. Thank you for joining us, Mr Davis. Always a pleasure. It seems we have some echoes of Brexit all over again here. Mark Francois, the European Research Group, saying this bill is not fit for purpose. Our political editor, Christopher Hope, said a moment ago he spoke to some MPs and the whips are wetting themselves, he said, about how this vote is going to go ahead on this bill. Do you think this bill now, Mr Davis, is fatally flawed? It's a dead duck.
No, I don't. I think it'll get through. I think Chris is reflecting the views of some of my party, but not many of them. Look, we've got to have an improvement in the immigration and asylum laws. A year ago, when the Prime Minister took a grip of the Albanian issue, we were approving 55% of Albanian applications for asylum. Albania is not an unsafe country, so the law was bonkers at that point. What they're doing now is dealing with the problem of planes being stopped on the tarmac by the European Court doing what they call a Rule 39. Basically, it says you can't deport these people or can't send them anywhere. And we're putting that right in this bill, explicitly saying the minister can make a decision. We're also taking away a number of other powers which allowed the European Court to stop movement of people to Rwanda, and we're also putting in place a new treaty so that you can't say Rwanda's unsafe. But what we're still having, and what people like Mark are worried about, is people still have the right to say individually, I've got a problem. I've got deep vein thrombosis. I've got serious cancer. I'm in the 8th month of pregnancy. Proper reasons for not going to Rwanda. Or even they've got the wrong person. You know, I'm David Davis. Just imagine if they wanted to send me and instead sent the Welsh secretary, David Davies. That sort of mistake does happen. And under British law, forget European law, under 200 years of British law, we have the right to go to the courts if we have personally been unfairly treated. I mean, are Mark and Bill Cash and so on saying, you know, we should deport 8-month pregnant women? I don't think so. So I think this is, when they settle down to it, they'll see that 4 of the best lawyers in the land, you know, Cox and Spate and Sandhurst and so on, have said this works. The Home Office says 95% of the cases of individual challenge will be struck down. So you know, this will work, and that will allow us to send people to Rwanda whilst we deal with their cases. That's after all what we tried to do in the first place. And if Mark and his colleagues manage to defeat it, I don't think they will, but if they manage to defeat it, what else we've got? There's nothing else standing in its stead. We won't get it through, and if they change it to make it more fierce and basically take us out the European Convention on Human Rights, the Good Friday Agreement collapses, and then Brexit starts to come apart because the TCA will fall. So this is as far as we can go, and it will work.
But Mr Davis, if you recall, Theresa May's first Brexit bill was so destined to fail, it was pulled out and amended completely before being put back to the chamber. Is that not a sensible thing to do? In this instance, it's not just the right of the party who aren't happy with this. The One Nation Conservatives say it's too hardline. They say it doesn't put the rights, the human rights of those we're trying to deport far enough. So again, as with Brexit, we have a bill here which isn't keeping either rump of the Conservative Party happy, and therefore seems to be heading towards disaster.
Two things on that. Number one, you may remember it was Theresa May's treaty that I resigned over because it couldn't work. It was badly designed from all points of view. You're quite right. Right, left, and indeed the European Union wouldn't accept it. This is not like that. You know, I've been through it. I mean, there's nobody in the House of Commons who can claim a stronger record on human rights than me. And I've been through it from that point of view, and from that point of view, it's the minimum you can do to make it work. From the point of view of what's viable in terms of maintaining our international relationships, and in particular the Good Friday Agreement, it's the maximum that can work. So we've actually got an optimum position. That's what the government's found. They've got the very best lawyers to go through it. I know the Star Chamber Committee have been through it, but frankly, we've got really good lawyers to have gone through it, and I believe them. I think they're right, and that's why I'm encouraging all my colleagues to vote for it tomorrow.
Okay, David Davis, thank you for joining us on GB News. I admire your optimism.
This